Hello, this is I Do Damage, and welcome back to the channel. In this last Epoch video, I want to talk about patch 0.7.6. I want to talk about some of the things that really stood out to me in this patch and give my thoughts. Before I do that, I have some things that I want to talk about. The timestamps will be down below in the description for your convenience. I want to say thank you to everyone. We finally passed that 500 subscriber mark on YouTube. I mean, that is just, it's crazy to me to think that just a few months ago, I was excited for getting 50 YouTube subscribers, and here we are a few months later, and we're over 500 subscribers. Like, thank you guys. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button, commenting, being part of the Damage Crew community. It means so much to me. I want to just say thank you guys. The next thing I want to talk about, and this is last Epoch, the Damage Crew is hosting a community challenge. This is a very unique challenge for the community, and I hope that you'll take advantage of it. Real quick, the challenge is a solo self-founded hardcore challenge. You must play a sorcerer, and you must use the skills Flame Ward and Teleport. This challenge was actually made by one of the Damage Crew community members, Danklebs. Big shout out to you for thinking of this and coming up with the competition and the challenge. It's really a cool thing to see the community come together. At the time of recording this, I think we have about a dozen people in the challenge, and more keep popping in, so hop in. Even if you're not a huge hardcore person, I encourage you to at least try it out. It's really quite fun when we all get to talking and thinking of builds and finding some of those hidden skill nodes. It's really a really cool thing, so I hope you'll take advantage of that. Make sure you check out the Discord. The link for that will be down in the description as well. The winner will get a special Discord role. I'll let you choose the color of the role, and also you can choose the next competition that we do. So enough about that. Let's talk about why you're here, and this is last Epoch, patch 0.7.6. Wow, let me just tell you up front, this patch is massive. This video, I'm going to talk about the things that really stuck out to me and just kind of talk about those. If you want to know like everything there is in the patch, I do have a patch preview up. The card will be up above for you if you want to check that out. But wow, this patch did quite a bit to make the game feel like it's a higher quality game now. And I'm not saying that it felt like cheap or bad in the past, but this update really, I think, upped the quality of the game overall. So the very first feature we see in patch 0.7.6 is idols. Idols are, if you ever played Diablo 2, it's kind of a throwback to that, where you have this inventory type system and you have to puzzle in these idols that you can find. And what's really interesting about the idol system is, especially for if you're playing hardcore, is you have to decide when you get to the end time, which is only about midway through the story, if you want to jump in, just try to get right on the leaderboard right away, or push on through the story and unlock idol slots, because the only way to unlock more idol slots so you can have more idols and be stronger is to progress through the story. You have to be almost all the way done with Act 7 before you can unlock every single idol slot. So you need to decide the risk reward and kind of make a decision if you want to push the story or push endgame. So it adds a really interesting mechanic there. I'd love to know what you guys think. What's your strategy for hardcore? Do you push the story, or are you like me and try to rush to get on the leaderboard and then end up dying because you made a silly mistake? The next topic I want to talk about is gameplay. They did an animation update. They showed a preview of this. And me personally, and I know some others in the last Epoch community, hadn't really had any complaints about like clunkiness or anything like that. But like I said in the last video, if they want to make feel the game more smoother, go ahead. I won't complain. I didn't notice a huge difference. Maybe it's the skills I played weren't in the animation update, and that very well could be. But the animation update, they also streamlined Act 1, which it feels a lot better now. It feels a lot more cohesive instead of just going between the two different eras in the beginning and then getting thrown into the void. It just feels a lot more streamlined, right? That's what they're trying to do. Also, we saw a new sorcerer skill called Arcane Ascendance. The skill is a toggle. When you toggle it on, you cannot move, but you gain a damage increase. I haven't looked at the skill node for this one because I've been so focused on trying to get my hardcore character out for the competition. But who knows, maybe that'll fit into a really nice mage build here in the future. And last thing I want to comment on the gameplay is it does feel a little bit more smooth, and like I said, it feels a lot more higher quality now. And this is where we're getting into the next topic, and that is quality of life features. There's three big ones I want to talk about. The first one is huge, and this just gave the whole game a facelift in my opinion, and this is the crafting UI overhaul. You can see here on screen, I'll show you kind of the new UI, and it has like special effects like the swirly thing around the different icons, these drop down menus that I had predicted wouldn't be super impressive, but they look great. When I look at the crafting UI, it's like I'm in an actual forge, like I'm actually crafting something now. And it doesn't feel as clunky or like as weird as the old crafting menu does. And the last thing I want to know is on your fractures, they're now color coded. You have yellow, orange, and then red, so you can kind of see like if it's you're getting real close to totally doing the big fracture to where you lose all the affixes and stuff. So that's a really nice touch. I gotta say, hats off 11th Hour Games. Good work on this crafting UI. I'm a huge fan. I don't know who put in all the time, and anyway, I could ramble on. This just looks very impressive. Last two quality of life features is the buyback. This is a huge thing. I know many of the damage crew has been saying on the Discord that they accidentally sell items, and I'm sure other people have as well. Being able to buy back up to the last 20 items that you sold is such a nice feature to see. I know I've already used it a ton in this new patch. And last but not least, the Gambler. You can now actually refresh the Gambler stock for a few hundred gold. This is huge, especially if you're targeting a specific item. Like for me, it seems like I'm always trying to gamble for boots. I don't know why. It just seems to be the situation I'm always in. And sometimes the Gambler will only have like 2 boots, so I can just gamble those 2, refresh the list, do some more boots. It's a really cool thing. As small as these 3 things are, it really, really brought up the quality of the game in my eyes. Another highlight of this patch that really stuck out to me was the balance changes. There was so many different things to the end game, classes, itemizations, and the two that I really want to talk about is if you're 3 or more levels above a zone, you gain less character EXP. And this is interesting because you can't just farm those leveling zones, because once you're that 3 levels or higher above, you need to move on to the next. And it also kind of helps give you that feel of pacing. So if you're out leveling a zone too much or stuff like that, I think that adds a lot. Another one in the balance changes was the glancing blow changes. If you don't know what glancing blow is and you haven't been using it in the game, you're missing out. This stat is really OP and it'll save your life. Pretty much before this patch, you would have to get glancing blow on almost every single item that you possibly can. But now in this one, they've made it so you can get glancing blow a little bit easier, and this also frees up your itemization options, and you have a more flexible choice when it comes to your items and your equipment. So that's a really cool thing. Now, they also did a overhaul to the end game. Not a complete overhaul, just a couple tweaks here and there, but they added new maps for the arena, new mods for the monolith. If you have modifiers that you already rolled on the Monolith of Fate, you can't get the same one again. If you don't know what the monolith is, it's the timelines, it's the maps you have to run before you can get an arena key. Also within these timelines or monoliths of fate, we see new forges, which is a really cool thing to me. I think they added 6 new forges to be exact. And this was the biggest change to the monolith of fate, and I don't know how I feel about this one. Let me tell you what it is first. The chest at the end of the timeline you do, the loot in there is affected by how many mobs you kill during the monolith timeline. So I think there's a conversation to be had about this, and maybe it's just me, but I would like to know what the threshold is. I think there should be either like a kill count or a visual indicator, because if you're like me, I like to just speed run just to get those arena keys. And I think if I had like either a progress bar or like the skill or like the kill count I said, I would probably feel more encouraged to kill 50 more monsters or whatever it is. But as it is right now, I don't see any visual indication of me killing more mobs actually affects anything. So I still just rush to the end to get it over with. I don't know. I'm curious. Someone had said that reminds them too much of Diablo 3, which I don't know. I personally don't think that that's a bad thing. I just would like to have some visual feedback of something I'm doing is actually going to give me more loot. That's just my thoughts. Curious to see what you guys think about that. Let me know down in the comments. We'll go ahead, we'll wrap it up, talk about a few other changes. These pretty much come with every patch, so I'll just throw them in there for you. They added new unique items. They did a balance overhaul of skills, classes, passives. They added that new skill for the sorcerer, like I mentioned, and also Thicket Blades is no longer a skill. It's now a passive on the druid tree, so that's kind of interesting because I was waiting for a skill tree for that, but I guess we won't be getting that now. They've done some performance changes, so if you've been having issues in the past, maybe this is the magical patch that'll fix it for you. And also at the time of recording, they've released one hotfix that fixed a couple bugs. I know there was a duplication glitch that some people were abusing and things like that, so those got fixed. Anyway, like I said, this patch was massive. If you would like me to do a full patch breakdown video, let me know. I would be more than thrilled to do it, but I just think that the video would be like a half hour long, and I'm not sure that that's exactly something the community wants. If it is, I'll do it. Just say the magic words and I'll do it, guys. Again, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all the subscribers, new and old. We broke that 500 subscriber mark. That is such a milestone for me. You guys are awesome. I'll chat with y'all in the Discord, the Damage Crew Discord. Come be a part of the challenge, come be a part of the fun. As always, thanks for your time, and we'll see you next time.